Yeah.
You're a 4 flat 1500 meter runner, so faster than a lot of guys out there.
I'd see on Instagram, I'd be like, man, I wish I could train with them. Like, that would be so great. That's never gonna happen. When I was 13, I ran 4:49 in the mile, and then I collapsed.
But yeah, we're at New Balance Nationals here in Boston, Massachusetts, Horizon Track Club, and we're joined by Cory McGee, 2020 Olympic 15th place?
12th.
12th?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a whole story there, but...
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you were 12th in Tokyo in 2020, second at the American trials, right?
Yes. Yep.
You're a 4 flat 1500 meter runner, so faster than a lot of guys out there that are training pretty hard as well, so very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us about that story you were just...
Oh, well, mostly, it's kind of a sad story.
We're starting with sad things.
We'll start with the bad news. No, I was 12 and I struggle a little bit with it because sure I ran as hard as I could, but in the semifinal I fell. And so yeah, I got I don't know what the actual technical term is, but a referee judge decided to put me in the final, which made sense because someone in front of me fell and kind of made me fall or whatever. So anyway, it was 12th, but I kind of put an asterisk there because I never really will know what would have happened. Who knows? I got kind of hurt.
And then when you were 13, you actually went to New Balance Nationals, correct?
Yeah.
Right. How was your experience? I guess it's probably so different now, viewing it in a new track at New Balance compared to the first time you competed.
Most definitely. I mean, the first time I was there is kind of a blur. Obviously, it was a really long time ago, but also it was so new to me. I grew up in a really small town in Mississippi, and there's no indoor track existent in the whole state. Right. So it was also a kind of weird thing that I was trying out indoor track. So mostly I would go to those meets and they would announce me as from Michigan or Missouri or whatever, because this is just a random kid from Mississippi who's only distance runner. And yeah, my family would come, and I had a coach that kind of opened my eyes to the places you could go if you ran track. And so New Balance Nationals was one of the first stops along the way. And I still get chills when I think about it, because I can remember the last couple laps of the race and looking up at him in the stands, and great times.
Yeah. How many times did you compete at New Balance Nationals?
A bunch of times. I mean, I think every year. I mean, there was a
really an OG, always dialed in going to New Balance Nationals.
I went back and forth maybe in high school, but a bunch of times. Yeah.
Sweet.
And I even remember there was the New Balance gift shop, and I went and bought new racing bottoms and stuff and wore them in the race. It's all my high school pictures I'm wearing New Balance, which I'm proud of.
So you've been rocking with New Balance from the beginning.
Yeah, for a long time.
We'll make something clear. Actually, right now you're not with a team that's backed by New Balance, but not directly with New Balance. Can you explain that?
So I'm actually on a team that's a variety of brands, but a few of us are with New Balance. So myself, Emma Coburn, Dani Jones, and Katie Rainsberger are all New Balance athletes, and then we're a collection of people. I always kind of think it's funny. It's we all went rogue. We tried something and it worked, but it wasn't quite right, and we all are this band of misfits and came together in Boulder. So yeah, it's we actually don't have a team sponsor. We just are a collection of individually sponsored people that work together.
And it's called Team Boss? Is that
Yeah, Team Boss. So we're coached by Joe Bosshard.
That's a hard name.
That's our team.
Bosshard.
Yeah, Bosshard. I know, it's it means it's translated from, I don't know, Swiss or German, or I have no clue.
Interesting.
Anyway, that's a little bit about our coach. Yeah.
I wanted to ask about New Balance and Nationals. Mm-hmm. After you competed, did that help you get recognition and offers to go D1?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think just first of all, the fact that it raises your expectation for yourself. You're open to new levels of competition, so then you go back home and you're training harder, find next level of like whatever's within yourself. So like that alone, but then, you know, getting your name out there. The state meet's important, but like if you're like me and you're from a state that like wasn't very competitive, like going to New Balance Nationals was like everything for me. Like that was when I would sort of like realize, oh my God, there's a whole world out there and there's people like me who care about track. And yeah, it was like a really like life-changing thing, actually.
Yeah, tell us about your world record.
I mean, I don't know if it still stands, but there was a time at the high school national meet when I was 13, I ran out of my mind, and I ran 4:49 in the mile, and then I like collapsed.
How old were you?
13, yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
so like technically it's like the age group record.
Yeah.
Again, like have no idea if it still is, but
That's so fast.
I mean, I haven't heard about a 13-year-old doing that recently, but
yeah, we would have heard about it, I think.
I mean, for like young kids that want to run that fast, how do they do that? How did you have such a successful season?
It's funny, like I sometimes like avoid talking about it because I feel like I worry like if you told that to like a lot of 13-year-olds, it would make them nervous or feel like, you know, they have to do more. And it's like, it's definitely not by doing more. It's not by living your life like a pro.
Right.
Like I definitely didn't do that when I was 13. I feel like it was just like I love to run, I was having fun, and I just was competing. So I feel like that's kind of the bigger thing.
Just having fun with the sport.
Yeah, most definitely.
Totally.
And like now, you know, I live my life so differently. Like this is my job.
Yeah.
And so like every little detail, like I have to think about how it impacts like my overall performance.
Yeah.
And like I'm a lot more strict. But when I was 13, it was like, you know, I just...
Totally. Did you do another sport when you were 13 as well, or?
At that time, I was still playing soccer. Yeah, and I kind
Hey.
of had noticed, like, a couple years later when I stopped playing soccer, like, a dip in my performance and my speed and everything. Yeah, because, like, that was a supplement to, like, agility and speed and all that, and I had to kind of figure out how to get that figured out in training as a track athlete.
That's true.
Because, you know, if you play soccer, like, you're out there running around for...
Yeah.
like 90 minutes, and I wasn't that good, but I ran around the field a lot.
I mean, it made you better, probably, right?
It made me better at running. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, expand a little bit. You were talking about Team Boss. How's that whole chemistry? You guys are up in Boulder, right?
Yeah.
How did that go about? Like, how did that happen?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny to think back on. So I was actually living in Boston when that team began, and Emma Coburn was training at the University of Colorado, and her husband, who's our coach.
I didn't even
Yeah,
know that.
so Joe is Emma's husband. They like split off. I think after the 2016 Olympics, they like decided to kind of like go their own way, and Joe started coaching one of my current teammates, Aisha Protlier, and it was just Emma and Aisha, and I was like very stagnant. Like I just felt like something was missing in my training, and like I don't know, it was just a little off. And I was like, you know, I'd see on Instagram, I'd be like, man, I wish I could train with them. Like that would be so great. That's never gonna happen. And then at Fifth Ave Mile, like that's usually the end of the year for everybody, and I knew Emma and Joe already, but they like everyone was out after the race, and like it was one of those things where I was like, I hope they remember this conversation. They were like, you should just like move to Colorado, like you should just come out. And I was like, oh my God, this is like, please don't forget. So then like the next day, of course, Emma was like, yeah, so what do you think, like what we talked about last night? And I was like, oh, thank goodness she remembers. I know. So then yeah, I pretty much just like decided to move out there right away. So I like packed my bags, and it was one of those where she's like, think about it, and in my head I'm like, I'm definitely
You're like,
coming.
oh, I just booked my flight.
Exactly. So yeah, that was how it happened for me. And then I feel like it's kind of a lot of similar stories. Like you're doing fine, and like, you know, your performance is okay, but like you just know that you're looking for something a little different. And then our team just kind of like, Joe is very like he individualizes our training, and I think that that's like really helpful for some people coming from like certain groups where like you're just all sort of lumped together, which also works for a lot of people.
That is interesting. So how do you guys work that out into workouts if it's all individual? Do you try and hop in and hop out and help each other out, or no?
Yeah, it's more like I'm just glad that I'm not the coach, because like Joe is so busy every single day. He's like at the track every day, or like, you know, there's marathoners on our team, so like we go everything from like 800 to the marathon.
He has like 10 time watches.
So yeah, he'll be like in the car like driving for 20 miles with Emma Bates doing a long run, and then like roll up to the track and like watch me do my thing with like Dani or whoever, and then like, you know, drive to the gym and have to watch someone on the treadmill. Like he's like all day long, just like one thing to the next, or he has us like staggered throughout the week. Honestly, I don't know. He probably has like a huge like spreadsheet somewhere that I wouldn't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, good for him for juggling between all that and making you guys all successful, right? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I was wondering, with like the individualized like training, are there like core concepts or core values that your team has that you all kind of like get behind? Maybe your coach implements it into his mythologies, or what do you think?
Definitely. I mean, he would definitely be able to answer that better than me, but like there's a lot of unspoken stuff on our team. I just feel like obviously, you know, like it can be cold. Like we never talk about the weather. We never talk about like whatever's difficult that day. It's just like we're all here.
You just gotta
we know it.
Go through it.
Everyone knows like this might suck, and it's just like everyone's just on the same page with like very minimal complaining.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
It's like not necessarily like be positive. It's just like just don't say it if it's not great.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like we're the same too.
Yeah,
on our squad.
But it's because like as a runner, you kind of sign up for it. Like you're putting yourself through the pain, through the tough days. Right?
Yeah, I'm like watching the races today, and like people are crossing the finish line and have like that pain face, and like a little part of me is like, that looks kind of fun, but then another part of me is like, you know it sucks, but it's like, yeah, what did you think that you signed up for? It's like, yeah, it's brutal. Oh my gosh, time of my life. Yeah. I like only have good memories and loved the coaching staff. Like my lifelong friends were my teammates. Like just, yeah, I'm a very proud Gator. Yeah.
That's so fun.
And it's been so fun watching them just like do so well the last few years.
True.
Because like when I was there, the women's team was competitive, and I think our highest finish at an NCAA's was 4th. So it's just been really cool to see like them winning, and the guys were winning a ton when I was there, and that was really fun to like be there and see that. But it's been cool to see the men and women both like performing at that level. And I mean, I know Coach Holloway's happy, so
yeah, he seems amazing, Coach Holloway. I've seen a lot of videos of him like on flow track, and I like his mentality.
Oh my gosh, he has the best. Talk about core values. There's like
he probably has some solid
no doubt about like what Florida track and field is about. And I mean, that is the kind of stuff that like speaks to my soul. So yeah, he's very much like catchphrases. And yeah, there was a little while there where I was like struggling in college with like not necessarily running, but more just like, I don't know, life stuff. And like at the end of the day, I could always be like, I'm gonna do great because I want to like be a good athlete, because Coach Holloway, like I care about him. So yeah,
I guess the relationship goes beyond just like on the track.
Big time.
Right.
Brings out the best in you. Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. So yeah, I'll bring it back a bit. Like earlier, you were talking about like being from a small town, and we went through like your old like Instagram stuff, and we saw like when you promised shrimp and grits to a Southern girl. Like,
that's
You
hilarious.
wanna like expand on this? Like, we're not too sure what it means. We're from Canada, right? So it's, like,
shrimp and grits.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's a dish.
Yeah, it's a dish. Yeah.
And it's like super popular up in Mississippi.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. Do you know what grits are?
Do you know? I kind of know. I feel like I have an idea, but
There's another Travis Scott song.
Are they made
it's
of?
the Travis Scott song.
they're made of corn, and it's like ground up corn kind of, and then you can like cook it all different ways. But like, you know, you'll see like Quaker grits, like those are not it. Do not buy those. Like those can't be saved. Like there's good grits that are like, you know, you put like cream and cheese and all that kind of stuff, and then you put some shrimp on top.
Okay, yeah, you put like seafood in it, right? You can put some other seafood in it.
Well, so like you don't cook it together. It's like you cook the grits, and then you cook the shrimp, and then you serve it together.
Oh,
so
cool.
Is that a pre-race meal or post-meal?
Actually, it's like not a pre-race meal, but like it's a pretty good like pre-workout meal. I've realized like jambalaya, ideal workout meal, like ideal.
It's so good too.
And it's so good. Red beans and rice, pretty good pre-workout meal.
That's true.
Shrimp and grits is like maybe not quite enough. Like I need more protein and stuff, but anyway, yeah, I make all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we That's something we sometimes do. Just go back and we want to go back to like the
Just
roots and where you're from.
Creep
And like
on someone's Instagram, like go really deep.
yeah, we're doing
Back
that like
when they
right
were
before
using-
right before you came earlier. We're just like
Back
God,
when we
this
were
is so
using
hard.
like the like built-in Instagram filters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How's
Good
how's
times.
building your social media presence? And I guess is that like important for a runner?
Well,
I think yeah.
Totally.
I think it's for sure important. It's been really hard the last year or so. I mean, like, obviously we all know that, like, social media has changed, and I have found that I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure it out, but definitely over, like, the years, I guess, like, since I was in college, like, right when Instagram sort of became a thing,
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't ever intentional at first. I just, like, cared about, I don't know, sharing what I was doing
Right.
and like my training and stuff, and like connecting with runners. So, but yeah, I feel like I was just kind of lucky because I was like a little early there.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
there's like
it's fun.
NIL deals and stuff that you can get at like universities.
Oh
like,
my gosh, I
did
can't
you-
imagine.
Did you wish like you had that? Like
Not at
before?
all. That's so much pressure. Like I
Right.
was just living my life. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, like more power to the like high schoolers and college people who are figuring that out, because that would be really hard. Like I was in a bubble. Like I grew up in a little town. No one cared about what I was doing. Like I would just go for a run like on a little country road and then like fly to a race. And I can't imagine if like I had to do a blog and like post
Right.
about it on Instagram and like all that. Like it would have been, I mean, I guess that you don't know because it's normal, but like when I was in high school, I had no clue what a professional was doing. And now,
True.
like, you have all that information, and that is, it's good for some people, but I can see how so easily it's, like, detrimental. Because you're
Right.
like,
You might be stressing about it a little bit, right?
yeah, and, like, you're doing stuff that maybe you're not quite ready to do. Like, if you're training, like, a pro in high school, it's like, well, it's going to be, like, maybe not that fun if you're doing the same thing for the next 15 years. I mean, I think there are for sure high schoolers and collegiates who can handle that, but I question if I would have been able to, because I've had a long career, but I didn't have information overload. So that's like the one thing I'm really grateful for.
How'd you
Yeah.
do to have like such a long career? Because you've been like doing this for a long time, right?
Yeah, a
So
long time.
what's like something you've done to like overcome? Maybe you've had some like dips on the way, like some bumps in the road or something like that. Like
Yeah, mostly just like getting back in touch with like whatever got me there in the first place. Like, you know, I'm still close with my high school coach, and like honestly, when I see him, I like have that breath of like, it's, you know, it's just fun and it's not that big of a
Right.
deal.
There's,
And
no
like,
pressure there 'cause it's
yeah,
high school.
yeah. So that, and like running when I go home is always like special. Just like go back to those roads that you used to run on when you were
Right.
little. You know, run, like, just do little things like that, I guess.
How often can you go now? I feel like the pro
Oh my
schedule's
gosh,
kind
yeah.
of like
I try to
makes
go
it
in the
difficult.
fall, like,
Oh,
a
okay.
lot.
Just before we finish, we have a couple of questions that we just ask our guests.
Okay.
First and foremost, what's your favorite song that you listen to right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I literally don't know.
or not now, but like just one favorite song,
Yeah.
one that you can listen to like.
I
almost
really
your
like
whole
the
life.
Shins. Like, I could listen to the Shins for the rest of my life.
The
So,
Shins?
yeah.
Wait, I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, I don't think I know who that is.
I don't know. Just listen to it.
We'll play it.
We'll play it like we'll like just play it.
Yeah.
And,
just- have you
so-
seen Garden State, the movie? No.
I feel like
I'm
so
older than you
uncultured.
guys.
I feel so uncultured.
I'm older than you guys. You know. You're
Yeah.
from New Jersey.
You know stuff. Like Ryan just knows stuff.
Yeah, he just knows. And then since you've been with Boston for many years, I bet you've been through a lot of models of their shoes.
Yeah.
You've probably been through some great ones and also maybe some not so great ones.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering, what's your like I'll say what's your favorite shoe out of all the years?
Casual. I'm
Yeah.
still like,
Casual.
I don't know.
One casual and one for running, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone likes the 550s right now, but like I still really like the oh my god, what was the Casablanca, the one that's like the 327. Like I love the 327. That's like probably will always be my favorite casual shoe, not just because they look good, but like they actually help my arch. Like they feel really good on my feet. So yeah, the runner in me is like, these are great. And then running shoes, I was like a big Beacon girl, but I'm in the Rebels now, and they're serving me very well. So
yeah.
Oh, actually, my favorite is the Spikes.
The spikes are pretty fun.
Yeah, just like hands down.
Right.
I want to be in
Yeah.
Spikes.
Like,
so.
it's not like they're on the table or anything.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, all right. I guess we could wrap it up there. But thank you so much for
thank
joining
you
us.
guys.
And I guess yeah, you got somewhere to be right now on the track. So
I guess so.
It's great to have you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
you. Woohoo.
Gold teeth and the curse of this town were all in my mouth. Only I don't know how they got out.